few days later, and of course the fiberglass is completely cured. Coming out looking really good. I mean, it's really smooth. I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Like, I mean, it's gonna have a rough texture because it's fiberglass anyways, but like, I've done past fiberglass where I didn't have a form that was quite this good, because I was like, I'll just, I'll go from the fiberglass and just, sand and do all that stuff. And you can sand fiberglass, but it is a royal pain. It's a lot of filling and sanding to get us where you want it at. But like, this is already like super close. Like, there's some minor little things here and there, like you can't really see it very well, but like there's some little high spots that'll be sanded down, like no big deal on that. But like, yeah, so I got a couple more right there too, but that's nothing, right? So the game plan now is I'm going to use these little guys here. These are Clecos. I'm gonna pre-drill a couple spots through the fiberglass and through that, so whenever I go to put the fiberglass back on, I can just pop those in and it'll lock in place, and that's where it's gonna go. So by having it pre-drilled, I already have my holes where they need to be. That way I can reset the panels where they need to be at exactly. Those will help me set it back into the same place every single time. So that's what we're gonna work on now. This is when it gets real, because now I'm gonna be drilling into my actual body. This is actually killing me more than cutting the charger. Like, I had no restraint on the charger. Once I had the panels mounted and I knew what I needed to cut, I just cut. Like, I already knew I was good to go. Like, Lion's Kid did a great job with the panels that are on her car, so they were already perfect. They were good to go. Once I had them mounted, I knew that they were good. So on this is all me. So once I do the drilling here, which, I mean, I'm already into it. Once I do the drilling, no matter what, if I were to change my mind midway through this, then I have to sand fill, and still repaint this panel no matter what. So, that being said, 1, 2. So, it's kind of the idea is those go on there, and those are stiff. Those are super stiff. I think it's like 20-30 pounds worth of force behind them. But now when I go to put it back, it's going to be back in the same spot no matter what, because the holes are set. So I'm going to do probably 2 more down on these back corners, just to kind of give another spot. All right. Try to remove the fiberglass without destroying it. As you can see, the spray foam and the sheetrock mud all stayed behind. So we're gonna digging all that out. I have a pretty high anticipation that this one's gonna be a lot harder. had a little bit of a mishap. Got 2 main spots where the fiberglass had split when I was trying to remove my arch form. I'm not actually surprised by that, because when I did, this is the rear, when I did it, I had pre-cut the fiberglass into slits just to make it lay easier, lay better. Whereas on this one I didn't do that, I just rolled the edges over. So obviously you can tell, that one stayed a little more stiff. So this isn't that big of a deal. Once I get it down there, I'm gonna be finishing shaping more anyways. So once we get to that point, I'll just be doing fiberglass patch on there anyways. Not a big deal. I just gotta finish cleaning these things up, which is proven to be a royal pain. Yeah, so next time I'll definitely do a better job of surface prep. I kind of anticipated the sheetrock mud being a little bit of a pain to get off, but like, I'm fairly certain some of the resin soaked into the foam beneath the mud, and that resulted in this foam becoming pretty hard in some spots, but we'll get there. Got them mocked back up on here. Still a lot of cleaning up to do. Like, the edge here is still way too far, because I want to maintain that line. So I'm going to be trimming back all of this about an inch or so, just to have my fiberglass point where basically I do my bonding along that edge. Still gotta basically maintain the line of the original point here, so basically I have to cut that off, which you can kind of see where I had it drawn out here to follow the original factory line. And then same thing here, you can kind of see how the line here lines up with that line there. Basically I'm gonna make a flat spot there. I measured it off, and I am still maintaining my 2 inches, but as you can tell, it's kind of bowed in just slightly. But that's no big deal. I can make sure to keep that popped out. Nice little square edge on the back side of it. Back here, kind of the same thing. Like here on the front, it's still maintaining where it needs to be at, just because that's where the edge hit. But here on the far back, you can kind of see it's tapering in, just because there's no edge there anymore. But on the bottoms here, it's going to be getting, namely here is going to be the real important part. It's not just going to end flat here on this spot. This is going to get a bit of a curve. So once I get that curve figured out, I'll have to fiberglass the remainder of this in the bottom there as well. And then after that's done, I could get my cutout here. And like I said, I got a little bit of a patch here. Whenever I was taking the mold out, it broke off. Unfortunately, I can't really proceed too much further. Obviously, the point from here would be to finish getting my cutouts, and then grinding down the paint and everything to get it to the raw fiberglass to begin making the bond. But of course, that's going to be more of a process. So the next step I would want to start doing while I was working on this is to start doing the forms on the other side, making the plugs on the other side. I can't do that yet though, because I have to pull the side sills off to get the registration inspection taken care of, registration renewal by the end of next month. And I have some concerns that I won't have the time frame to meet the deadline to have this stuff roadworthy, I guess would be the word. Like, where I'd be going isn't very far, but I just don't want to take that chance. So probably later next week I'll see about pulling the side sills off and getting the inspection done. And once that's done, then I can proceed. So I got to get it taken care of ASAP. Whenever I start doing the blending, I'm not dealing with a much larger layer. Like, once I do the blending on the top, I'll be doing a whole bunch of reinforcement from the back. Of course, I'll be cutting the panel first, leaving just enough to make my attachment, and then I'll get underneath and I'll begin attaching and blending and adding more layers here to beef this up. I'd love to lower this thing down and see how it sits. Maybe that's what I'll do before this video's over. Sometimes I forget how short this car actually is while I've got it on the lift. So now keep in mind that this is going to be cut down to that 1.5 inch mark. So there will be about a 2 finger gap, just about.